Everyone, I'm Emily and welcome to Emwigsters Bookshelf. This is Ink and Inspiration, a series where I chat to authors about their books, their creative journeys, and stories that behind the stories. If you love books and the people who write them, you're in the right place. Let's jump in and tell us who you are and a little bit about your book.
Sure, we are the USA Today best-selling author duo, Piper Rayne. I am Piper.
I'm Rain.
Yeah, and we write a lot. Well, I don't want to say exclusively, but we write mostly small town romances and sports romances that focus either on family or found family. That is a big sort of overall theme in our work.
How did you sort of start go into the small town and sports romance sort of area? Did you always know you were going to specifically write that areas?
No, well, like when we started with like girl gangs and guy gangs, kind of, right? Like good friends. And then we wrote some brother series that kind of like we noticed our readers really enjoyed. So we're like, let's try our hand at a small town, like big family. And then that seemed to do really well for us. And then while we were doing that, we're like, let's do something different too. Let's do sports. And so we started those two channels of small town and sports, like flip-flopping them. And we've been doing that like ever since.
How did you choose which sports to sort of focus on?
I think originally when we started with hockey, it wasn't as popular as it is now. It was just sort of up and coming, and I think that's why we chose hockey and now we've done football and now we're just starting our baseball era. And so I feel like we've covered a lot of the bases of like the main, not all of them, but um yeah, I think but the original decision of hockey I think was just basically driven by market. Like there was a lot of hockey sort of just kind of up and coming at the time, if memory serves.
Mhm.
What inspired the Hotshot?
Well, the series before kind of inspired it with the death. And then we knew we had Easton Bailey, who came from our small town, big family. And so he's obviously a baseball player. So we really wanted to, like, we thought, let's bring baseball players in after the nest, which was a hockey. And then, yeah, then as far as the storyline, like, we love brother's best friend. So
Mhm.
we felt like best friend's older brother was like a nice mix. And we like to, so yeah, we decided to lead off with that trope. Mhm.
How much research did you go do you do in for your books? Do you go to games? Like how's your writing process?
Well, we were lucky with baseball because Rain's son has played baseball for years, so I think that required a little less research. Hockey, when was writing football, I really had not known anything about football. So yeah, I mean, there's like lots of Googling, watching games. I think is actually just the best thing. You get to hear the lingo, learn plays, like sort of learn how the game works. And same with hockey. My husband's a big hockey fan, so he was helpful. We'd ask him a lot of questions, and yeah. So I think it's just almost like I call it like immersion therapy. You're just like get in it, start watching it, and then you sort of realize what you don't know, and just ask questions or go seeking the information from there.
It's always good to go go watch games and everything. I think
Hmm.
when you surround yourself with the fans as well, that's when you really start to
Hmm.
learn about the sport.
Hmm.
What drew you to writing in the first place?
Oh, for me, I would say like I love like everything love, unfortunately. Like a rom-com, like I watch those. Like I've just always loved love stories, right? And so I feel like I just wanted to create worlds that readers loved, and I thought, I don't know, I just loved to write the characters falling in love. Like that was something that was I loved. So
Hmm. Yeah, and I don't really know what drew me to writing in general. I just have always like even as a little girl was writing like I can remember like writing like some of my earliest memories at my grandparents' house. So I just always like to write. Romance specifically, same thing. It's just like a through line of
Mm.
anything I really liked through my teens and like into adulthood. Like if I look back, I don't think I recognized it as being romance at the time, but I'd be like, oh yeah, that's why I liked this show because there was like I was interested in the B plot of the romance, like of this
Mhm.
thing, And so looking back, I can see that at the time I don't think I really clocked it. But yeah, I'm the same. I like happy endings and the sort of the hope that comes with a romance novel that everything will always work out.
I think that's my favorite part about romances
Mhm.
is the happy endings and
Yeah.
everything and the love. And I always love the meet cutes. They're the best parts.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
Mhm. Yeah, I love a good meet cute as well.
Mhm.
How do you choose which character to center the story around? Do you sort of have the couple in mind before you even start writing, or as you sort of start into the series as a whole, does the characters come forward?
Yeah, when we started like planning a series, we usually have like whoever the main people are, right? So for like the dugout, we have the four players that will come into play. And then we decide pretty much on tropes. And then we decide what kind of tropes, and then we decide like who the girls will be to come in, or the other character, I should say, because I mean, on Big Family, we have the other way. But yeah, and so that's just kind of how we go. So we start with tropes, and then we start with like narrowing it down to the characters, and then whether or not that character's had a cameo in a previous series and we're throwing them out kind of dictates as well as what their story will be. So, yeah.
Oh, so you're both more plotters than pantsers in your writing process, I'm guessing.
Oh,
I would say that I would say we plot the book and kind of pants the scenes. Like, um, it's like we know that at, this point, the midpoint, this has to happen, but we might not know like every single scene that is going to get us there, like spelled out. And some of that just comes when you're writing to decide kind of, so I would say we sometimes don't know how we're getting there exactly. We have an idea, but we know what it is we're getting to. So yeah, I feel like
mhm.
we're kind of a mix.
Yeah.
And honestly, like every book is different. Like, don't you feel ever like some it feels like,
Hmm.
you know, uh you're just winging it a little more and some, you like feel like you really need like a very structured outline.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Is
I
it
always
more
feel like I need a structured one, but then I don't go by it usually. So,
is it
this
more
is very
character
true.
driven with how you write the book? So the characters sort of more dictate what scenes
oh, what
come easily.
happened?
Mhm.
For
Yeah.
sure, like a secondary
Yeah.
character could come in and then
Yeah.
like they kind of take over that scene, and then you're like, oh wait, it kind of went this way, right? And then we'll usually
Mhm.
message the other one and say like it's taking a turn, you know what I mean? And then we'll talk it out. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Do you know, does it normally end up going back onto where you sort of have plotted the book, or does it still just stays on the turn?
It really is so individual. Some books take a real left turn like that we didn't see coming and some, you know, stay right on script. We're each a little different. I will very often be like, oh, I don't know, like I'll figure it out. Like I'll kind of write into the like into like the fog and not really know exactly where we're going, but I know we're gonna get there. It's okay. Um, Whereas I feel like Rain is maybe less comfortable with that uncertainty. Like you
Yeah.
like to have more a little bit more of a plan, I feel like. But
Yes,
like
I
you
like
said,
to
but then
have more.
oftentimes you'll ditch it.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll say it's not working now. Like whatever we thought could happen, that can't happen. So let's come up
Mhm.
with something else. That's
Mhm.
usually me. Whereas I feel like Piper she can stay on for the most part, like, and not much
Yeah.
changes much. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, but sometimes, I mean, we've talked about this. Sometimes I feel like that's a detriment because,
Mm.
Oh.
you're kind of like closing yourself off to opportunities that maybe you could take
Mhm.
like, a right-hand turn off this road and it might be
Mhm.
better scenery over
Right.
here, but I'm just like, no, this is the path we're on. So
Then you
I'm
figure
not sure
I'm
that's
taking
great
us
either.
like I'm taking us like the opposite way. I'm like, whoa, we gotta go back. You know what I mean?
We're on like a real
Got to
tour of the whole
scenic
town.
Like
route.
this path was fine, and now I've detoured us off to this other one.
I
Yeah.
think there might be a better thing to see over here. Let's just investigate a little bit. We'll see what
Right.
happens.
Right.
Did you have a favorite moment to write in the book or a scene?
Mm. Yeah, for me, I mean, I have a favorite moment. It does spoil it, so I'm not going to say it, but it has something to do with a glove and towards like more the end of the book. And then that kind of was like, I think it was in my head at the time, so I always love that scene because I really
Mhm.
wanted it to happen without knowing everything that was going to happen in the book. But yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, that was a good scene. Yeah, I also really liked the scene where Hayes is in the hospital with his parents and his mom's like kind of going for a follow-up and it's this is where he tells his parents he's having a fake relationship and they meet up with her and I like sort of find that whole scene and his parents in particular quite funny and so I like that whole scene.
I think the character interactions they sort of surprise and are fun to write as well, especially if they're
Mhm.
funny characters too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Has writing and publishing books changed the way you see yourselves?
Mm.
Oh, geez. Um,
I
I think for sure,
don't
like probably positive and negative, really. What were you gonna say?
Mhm. Well, I was gonna say one thing I do notice, and I think it is like really a writer thing, honestly, is that I'm able to, even when I don't agree with other people's opinions or how they see the world or whatever, I find it not that difficult to like there's a saying in writing that like the villain is always the hero in his own story. So like when you have a villain in a book, they never think they're a villain. They think they're like actually the hero doing what needs to be done, right? And so I think as a writer, you're always spending time in opposing viewpoints. So if you have two people, if you're writing an enemies to lovers book, you have two people that don't see things the same way, and you have to jump from one person's consciousness into the other person's and write both sides of, the coin. And so I feel like it's easy as a writer to put yourself in other people's places and sort of like consider, I don't know if it's like their opinions or the way they see the world, even if you don't agree with it. But I feel like since I've been writing longer, I don't know if tolerant is the right word, but like I'm better able to do that, to understand that everybody
Yeah.
is coming at things from their own perspective. I guess that's what I'm sort of rambling towards here. I
That's
love a
good.
good ramble.
That's fine. But yeah, it's good to always sort of take into account someone else's view and sort of understand that you okay, fair. Doesn't agree. I don't agree with it, but I can see where you're coming from.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Sure. Yeah. Oh, you want me to answer?
What about you?
Get off
Yeah, I
that
mean,
easy, Rain.
I know, right? I feel like I do not have that answer. I was gonna say like, I don't know, like I feel like I have become more sure of myself, and I don't know if that's just like the business aspect of it too. Like my self-confidence has gotten a little bit like higher than I feel like it might have been, or maybe I trust myself more. I don't know. Piper's probably gonna be like, I don't know if she trusts herself. She's always telling me how bad things are going. I'm writing it. But I feel it, but I don't know. Yeah, right. Mhm. But I do have yeah, I don't know. That's probably all I have right for that. But yeah.
I think have being more confident because you actually have actually published books and when some
Yeah,
people
that's
just
right. Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
right.
So
Mhm.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean it was like a dream, right? It was a
yeah.
dream and it's kind of come true and it's kind of like amazing that it's come true a little bit. So yeah. Mhm.
Are there any books or authors that inspired you in your writing or to become an author?
Oh. I mean, I will say about the time when I started writing again was when I really got back into reading a lot. And I was reading
Mhm.
like the Twilight series.
Yeah.
And so that was like a big, and then I went right into like 50 Shades. And so that was a big, like, just sort of like, oh my God, like this is so enjoyable. Like, wouldn't it be great to like give this same type of enjoyment to somebody else? Because you know what it's like to be as a reader to like really dive into something and enjoy it. So I feel like that was a big impotence, like at the time that was influencing me.
I remember
Yeah.
reading Twilight and then going straight
Mhm.
into 50 Shades of Grey too.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't a
Yep.
Twilight girl.
Oh, you missed out. You missed out.
I know. I do remember when my kids were in the NICU, the nurses were like, "Are you a Twilight girl?" Because I think the movie was coming out that night or
Mhm.
something, and I was like,
Mhm.
"What's Twilight?" Like, but yeah. So that's yeah. I mean, I feel like
Mhm.
because I wanted to write so young, right? And then
Mhm.
like so like telling stories was just what I just wanted to do, that inspiration. I mean, it is true that I started reading more when I read 50 Shades. I started reading more, seeing like the other authors that were publishing themselves and self-publishing. And I think all those stories probably did inspire me to want to write my own story. Yeah.
I think the self-publishing domain now has sort of inspired a lot more people to actually
Mhm.
write
Yes.
than
Absolutely.
before,
Yeah.
which is always
For sure.
fantastic. You wouldn't have the
Mhm.
stories that we do now if it wasn't
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for
Yeah.
sure.
self-published.
No,
Yep.
no, no.
Yeah, because the gatekeeping's gone, right? You
Yeah.
don't have
Yeah.
somebody
Mhm.
deciding this is what people will like. You put it to market and the people get to decide, what they're gonna
Yeah.
like. So,
Sort of shows them that actually I do know what my market and the readers would like without you.
Right.
What advice would you give to a writer working on their first book, and if you were given any advice?
Mhm.
working on the first book, I would say finish the book because I know for a lot of people starting out, that's actually the hardest thing is just to like finish
Mhm.
the book.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just show yourself that you can.
hmm And I would say just write whatever you want to write, whatever is in your head. Honestly, like there's so many first books that like I don't know, it's like nothing has tainted you yet, and everything is just
Mhm.
like so new and exciting. And you know what I mean? Like I just remember writing my first book and never not thinking of all the other stuff that comes with it. And
Mhm.
I would love to do that again without that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
So
think
enjoy the writing process. Yeah.
writing without comparing yourself to anyone else.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. I mean, you're writing your story, and yeah.
You're not thinking about what people are going to think of it.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
Mm.
usually I feel like your first story is like a collection of all your favorite things that you've probably been
Yeah.
reading for
Yeah.
years, and so that makes it into the book.
Mhm.
And so a lot of those first stories are very special. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Like I remember when after my first story and somebody was like, well, they didn't have like talk about like the safe sex thing before they had sex,
oh,
right? So it was like this big thing. And I was like, well, that's not really realistic, but now you know, like you pretty much have to put that in for the most
Mhm.
part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
but so you're not tainted by those things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
The pureness of the first
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Do you have a favorite writing snack or drink?
Mm. I really only drink tea and water, so it'll be one of those two. And then I'll usually have popcorn near me too. Hmm.
Popcorn. Popcorn's good. Nice.
Right. I am Diet Coke, although I'm trying to lower it a little bit more than I used to. I think I'm down to one a day, which is like big. So,
Yeah.
Diet Coke, and then it used to be Skittles, but not for a long time now. So I don't even think I'm snacking that much when I'm writing
Well, that's
anymore.
good. Good for you.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know how I'm not, you know what I mean? But maybe some popcorn. I feel like maybe some nuts lately. I don't know, but yeah.
Hmm.
Some things that you don't get, your fingers don't get too dirty.
Yes, right. But Skittles used to be a major one for a lot of years. Yeah.
Do you play music while you write? And if you do, what's your favorite type of music?
I do not. I like silence when I write. I might play music ahead of time to kind of get in a mood, a specific mood, but when I'm writing, no.
Yeah, I have to be playing music when I write, and it's usually some kind of a country mix, usually.
Nice.
Or maybe some Taylor Swift in there. Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that. And my final question is, who has been the biggest supporter of your writing?
Oh, I mean, for me, I would say my husband for sure. Because day to day, he's the one that picks up the slack. Like when I'm here doing this, he's making sure the kids and dinner's made and the kids are doing their things. So yeah, I would say on day to day, my husband and then my parents have always been like super supportive as well.
Yeah, same thing. I feel like my husband for sure, because I mean they're doing the extra work. And then yeah, but I feel like my dad was like the pusher. Like he was always the one that was like, telling me to keep going after it when I wasn't doing it. You know what I mean? So I feel like mhm.
You need the people closest to you to be the supportive.
Yeah, and he seemed to be like the proudest when I hit it. You know what I mean? Like the one that was
Mhm.
like, so.